license plates over Los Angeles that are doing cell phone collection NSA would never do, that they're using a customs drone to do it, right? When are we going to say this is enough? Or are we just going to go down and I'm going to be the last guy bailing out the boat?
I mean, what I would say to that, Malcolm, is, when I think about, Poland during its sort of worst years, Lech Walesa was not a politician, he was a labor leader. I think about Russia, and Alexei Navalny was not a politician either, he was a journalist, he had a media company. Some of them were, Vladimir, that we always had on our show, Kara-Murza.
Karamazov.
He's actually a politician. Or you think about Nelson Mandela, who was, the son of a chief. He wasn't a politician at all. And I think that the risk we run is that we count too much on and depend too much on politicians to save us from this mess. It's a version of what the Democrats are doing to expect Barack Obama or Kamala Harris to get us out of this. They are politicians, and their job is to do politics. It is our job as the American people to find ourselves a leader. Dr. King was not a politician, and he created a second American Revolution, and not one led by, all glory or whatever to George Washington, but he did wear his slave's teeth in his mouth,
Yeah, of course.
so I'm not a fan, but when I think about revolutionary leaders like Malcolm X, I think about the Black Panthers. They didn't wait for some politician in California to feed children breakfast. They gave them food when they knew they were hungry. I think about some of the greatest leaders. I think about Medgar Evers, not a politician. Well, he just understood that the people in the Mississippi Delta needed to feel free. They needed to feel free to speak. They needed to feel free to object. They needed enough food to eat. They needed resources, and so he just provided them. And so I think what we have to do is, I don't think we need to call on Oprah or Obama or Mrs. Obama or Kamala or anyone else to save us. I think we need to look inward in our communities and be our own saviors and figure out in your neighborhood, in your family, on your block, in your Facebook group, in your Instagram group, in your clubs, in your sorority, in your chapter, what are you doing to bring together your group, your friends, your family, to save them from fascism, to teach them how to survive this nightmare? Each of us has to be our own leader, and each of us can be that charismatic leader in our circles. And if we each do that, then eventually I think we will come together. There will be a national movement against this man. He's bankrupting this country. He's going to put us in a war that nobody wants, even MAGA people don't want. And his incompetence, his foolishness, his cartoonishness, his incompetent team, the joke that they are, the embarrassment that they are. No member of the United States military could be proud to stand by Pete Hegseth. He doesn't make any of us feel proud. He's an embarrassment. Tulsi Gabbard is an embarrassment. Kristi Noem is a dog-killing embarrassment. She looks like a clown in her Barbie costume standing in front of half-naked prisoners in El Salvador. These people are kidnappers. They're cruel. They're ugly. They're vicious. They're mean. They're also stupid. And I think when Americans get good and sick of it, just like every country where there's a dictator and people get tired of it, we will end it. And so the reality is Donald Trump is playing a game with limited time, because the American people are not fools. And even if we're fooled, we're not fools. And eventually, our little revolutions will be one revolution and it will be done. I just hope that if and when the opposition ever gets control again, they don't make the same mistake for the third time. We should have punished the Confederates. They should have been allowed back into public life after what they did to millions of African people. They should have never been allowed to come back after being traitors. They should have never been able to stand up to get their name on army bases. They should have been punished. And if Donald Trump and his fools are eventually pushed out of power, the Democrats should not be nice. The Democrats should make sure none of them can ever survive an Article 3 of the 14th Amendment reputation of their ability to serve in public office. None of them should ever be allowed to. They should not be off of the boards they sit on. They should not be allowed to quietly become college presidents. They should be run out of public life. What they've done to this country is savage, it's wrong, it is an abomination. And we will not, hopefully, make the same mistake twice of Democrats being too nice to deal with fascism the way it should be dealt with.
Well,
There.
well, thank you so much for that. I really think that your concept is great. I like the ground level game. We're in long ball, and I think we need to hit a triple. I think we need to hit one right.